concerning the human...
It's ridiculous, I think.
Why?
Because I believe that the Americans are behind the protests. I think they're funding the protests here, so I think he's created the problem.
How long have you lived in Hong Kong?
28 years.
28 years, and you live here with your family?
Yes.
And do you work in the financial business sector?
Yes.
Will your business be affected by this?
Everybody's business is affected by it.
What kind of effects are you expecting?
I think that it's affecting Hong Kong's ability to trade as an independent financial centre. So, who knows? But I think it's a good thing.
What are you going to do then, if now that this bill is signed into law? Is there anything that people like you can do to help Hong Kong stay, the kind of special advantages in terms of trade and financial transactions?
Well, I think Hong Kong people have always adapted, so one will hope that they will work out a way to adapt to these problems like they've adapted to other changes in the past. But I think that no one knows what the effect will be yet, so we have to wait and see.
Yeah. What do you think this bill will do to the social polarization of Hong Kong? I mean, we just had this district elections.
It's definitely not going to help. I think Hong Kong needs to heal. I think both sides need to listen to each other and learn from what's happened. I think there's been a problem with perception bias in Hong Kong, in that the protesters don't understand what the people who disagree with them feel, and those people who disagree with the protest don't understand where the protest is coming from and why they feel so strongly about the things that they're protesting about. So I think there's been a big disconnect in Hong Kong. And both sides need to listen to the other side, otherwise we're never going to heal.
Yeah, and with this bill, does it make it better, easier for them to listen to each other?
Of course not, I don't think so. I don't see how this helps one little bit.
What about the trade war? I mean, the trade frictions, let's say, between...
Personally, I see this as part of the trade war. I think that the protesters have got their concerns, but I think that has been fueled and paid for by American money. And so I think this is part of the trade war, in a certain sense. I really believe America must have some role in funding this.
Where are you from originally? The UK?
The UK, yes.
Okay. But how would you describe, because you lived here 28 years, so you saw the end of the British rule and you saw all the 22 years after Hong Kong came over to China. How would you describe the two different eras?
I think that the big difference, in my opinion, is mobile phones and people like yourself who are presenting news on real time. So under the British rule, things were not perfect by a long way, but problems were not so instantly brought to the media's attention, to the world's attention. But now everyone's got a phone, everyone films everything, so instantly anything happens, everyone knows about it. And I think that's been the big difference, not just in Hong Kong, but around the world, in how people look at things. So in Hong Kong, under the British, there was no democracy. They only introduced it very late in the day, before the handover. I think Hong Kong has got more democracy today than it's ever had in the past. For sure, it's not the full democracy that people want and expect, but it's better than it was. So when people look back to the British rule and as some sort of glory period, I think that's wrong. I think that Hong Kong is still the freest economy in the world. It's still economically very strong. Okay, it's taken a dip. So actually I think things have been pretty good. You'd have to look at Hong Kong as a big success story. And I think after the Chinese takeover, I personally think that Beijing has been very good in letting Hong Kong get on with doing what it does. To my mind, it hasn't interfered. I think that all the problems have been because of mismanagement in Hong Kong. I don't think it's the problem of across the border.
Yeah.
So I think this is a mess that Hong Kong people have created, and Hong Kong people need to fix it.
Do you mind that we use your name? Do you mind giving your identity, or do you want to keep it anonymous? We're from CGTN, the International TV of China.
Oh, okay.
Do you mind, or you want to keep it anonymous?
You can use. I think you can use my name. My name's John Maguire. I don't think I've said anything too bad. Maybe some people won't like it, but that's life. We're all entitled. I think one of the freedoms that we have in Hong Kong is we all should have the freedom to express our own opinions. And obviously some people don't feel that way at the moment. But
and you have the freedom to express your opinions.
Absolutely, I think Hong Kong has got a lot of freedoms. You know, we do have the freedom to speak up. We do have the freedom to disagree. We do have the freedom to call out a government when it gets things wrong. And I think these are things which should be in Hong Kong should be cherished. And at the moment, they're being trampled on, I think.
Thank you so much. I wish you have a good day.